This is my individual partner support for the Sprint3 and 4 full group 2 for Oasis. And my name is Joshua. So starting things off with the breakdown of labor that I've worked on for these past two sprints, I've worked on 4 different tasks. The first one was gathering plant descriptions. So this was gathering the basic info for the plants, like name, weather conditions, and basic things to keep the plant alive for the user. I was able to actually complete the story task, and I did this myself. I estimated it to take about 3 story points to complete, which it did. It took me about 2.5 hours to complete. The second item that I worked on was getting info, getting more detailed info for plants and trees that were specific to the riverside area. So that was getting their humidity levels, elevation, size, area, things like that. I was actually able to complete this one as well by myself, and it estimated for about 5 story points, which it basically took a total. And in terms of the time, it took about 3 hours to complete this. Now, the main functionality that we're working on is the GPS functionality, which allows the user to hone in on their current location to find the local fauna, usually either plants or the trees that are near to their area, so they don't have to try and find plants that are in another city or in another state. Now, currently, I'm still working on this. I haven't gotten it to complete yet, and we estimated to be about 8 story points, and I haven't been able to complete it, as I mentioned. And since we've been working on it for the past 2 sprints, I've been working on this consistently for these 2 sprints. However, I've been running into errors with my computer not being able to actually run our project, as well as new projects that I've been currently trying to make. So I've had to battle that more than actually get my code to run and actually test to see if the GPS function is currently working properly. But over the last 2 sprints, I would estimate that the time it took was about 720 minutes. And the final task that I'm working on was inputting the plant info into Firebase, basically being able to store the plant data that you're able to choose of the different plants, and that way you're able to actually save all the information that you're seeing and not have it refresh or even get lost every time you click on it one time. Currently, I'm not too up to date with how to work in Firebase. I'm planning to work with either MK or Ty and get their expertise in Firebase and see how we can actually store the plant data. Right now, it's estimated to be about 5 story points, and obviously I haven't completed it yet. But in terms of the time, it's taken me about 2 hours that I've worked to just try and get the basics of Firebase to try and figure it out, but I haven't made significant progress in that. So in total for these last 2 sprints, I've worked about 1,170 minutes. I've estimated about 21 story points for myself, and I've completed 8 of them. Next is the feature demo, which is going to be the plant info as well as the GPS functionality. Now, like I mentioned, that my local machine is not actually running the current databases and actual apps, so I'm going to show the code that I'm working on. Here's the plant.dart screen that I'm working on. This file that actually stores the plant type, the name, the price, the image, as well as its metrics, including the height, weight, size, and area of the plants, as well as for the height, humidity, and width. And the actual screen that shows all these different plant details is the new plant detail screen, which is basically the file that I wrote to actually display all the plants. When you actually click on them, it'll bring you up a screen that'll show you the descriptions of each plant. As you see here, this is the padding for the text that I've wrote for the Sleep plant. Is one of the 3 plants that I've currently had coded in, and it's kind of like a buffered and demo version of the plants that have at least 3 that we can use to start out with that available to the Riverside community. Now, these other functionality that I'm going to turn towards the GPS functionality. As I said, my local machines have an issue running with the other projects as well as our Oasis running, so I've been actually using code from the old project that I made, and I'm planning on just importing that after I make some adjustments to it, and that will be our actual code for the GPS. But as for now, this is the info that I'm using. Basically, in this app, you'll be able to see at the bottom that has no location chosen and 2 buttons that says get current location and select on map. So I'm going to actually click on select on map. And pulls up a map using the Google Maps API. And essentially what's going to happen is you're allowed the user to actually choose a place. So let's say right next to the Google Plex. You're able to place down where your location is and save it on the top right, and that will be able to give you your location. Now what I'm planning to do is based off the current location, it will pull up a certain amount of plants that are in that area that we have displayed in Firebase, and that's how you get those local plants. So the user will either be able to have the option to select it themselves on the map, or be able to just instantly get their current location using the Get Current Location button. However, right now, there's an error in the code that's not allowing the location to actually be displayed. I'll click it right now, or it will crash the app, but these two buttons are going to be implemented inside of our OSS app to actually give the user their current location and give them the plans that they need to actually see where their database is going to be. Now, in terms of our GitHub check-in, as you can see, I'm one of the contributors out here, because for when we had to actually merge in two different branches because one of our branches failed halfway through us uploading our code inside of it, so we had to make a whole new branch. So we had to split all of our commits into two different branches. So if we look at the first branch that we were using, which was the GPS feature, when we look at the past two sprints, these were the commits that I made inside of the first branch that we are actually using, GPS feature. And when we look at the current branch that we're using, and go back to look at the two sprints, these were the commits that I made. There's a little bit of overlap between the two different features because we were trying to push everything over into this branch now, but these were all the commits that I made. Now actually going and looking inside the actual code highlights, I believe this is the commit that I actually had the plant details as well as the plant darts files added into our program. Just going to wait for the GitHub to actually display the commit. It's like my computer is running a bit too many things at the current time right now. Alright, here we go. I was actually able to get the GitHub to start displaying, but here is the commit that I made. This is where I updated inside and made the constant subdart to actually get the color inside to actually when you're displaying the plant, so that way you're able to see a great background with the plant that just don't look right. And here is the plant.dart screen file that I added in, as I showed before, and the plant details screen.dart that I've added in. You can see all the code that was implemented inside of our file for Oasis. And as I mentioned, I'm using an old project that I'm using for the actual GPS, but here is the file that I'm mainly pulling from, which is the location input.dart file, which basically uses Google Map API to pull the latitude and longitude of a current location that is chosen, and it spits it out in front as an address. That way, the user doesn't have to see a bunch of numbers that they may not understand, and actually sees it as a string that actually shows the current address of the user. And that is everything that I worked on in the last 2 sprints.